Well, my name is Erik Darstaad. I was born and grew up in a little mining town in the southern mountains of Norway, where my father worked as a surveyor and map maker. During high school, when I decided I wanted to try to become a cinematographer, I came to this country to go to USC film school. And I got involved doing a lot of documentaries, and I really loved documentaries. I meant to go back to Norway, but I decided to stay in this country because I thought it afforded me more opportunities. And so ever since, I've been working in the film industry up until about just a few years ago when I was 80. And now I'm basically retired. Well, the major award, we got Academy Award for a short film called Why Man Creates. The first full-length documentary was a film we did in the late 50s in LA. It was about a group of young Native Americans living in LA during the time when the government was had a relocation project, trying to get Native Americans to move into the cities. In the late 60s, we also started doing a lot of concert-type films, music films, like the first one was with Creedence Clearwater. We did one with Elvis, one in Africa with Ike and Tina Turner. I would still love to work in movies, but physically I can't quite. It would be hard. I did my last project about 5 years ago, which was a theatrical film, a feature film in LA or in California. I mean, growing up, I think it's colored my life a lot. Growing up during the World War, when we lived under Nazi rule for 5 years, been in an occupied country. My wife and I met skiing in Aspen, Colorado, back in the early 60s. But then Aspen in the late 60s, early 70s started changing a lot. The big money moved in and it wasn't quite the same place anymore. So we heard about Sandpoint from people in Aspen who were looking for greener pastures. And we came up here one year in 74, I think it was, and checked it out. And so in 76 we moved up here, and we've raised 3 kids here, and our oldest daughter still lives here. When the Germans came in, they basically took over the mine, but it became a target for Allied forces. So basically one day in 1943, I was outside playing in the backyard, and I heard these sound of airplanes coming in very low. There's been a lot of good changes here. There's been a lot of positive changes in terms of the people who moved into the area, in terms of the amenities that a small town like this can offer to people. Well, I hope that it won't quite go the way that Aspen, Colorado and Park City were basically become a place for the wealthy to enjoy. I guess I would hope that it would stay somewhat the same it has. They were not very high. I could almost look into the cockpits where the pilots were sitting, and basically I saw they started dropping bombs on the mining complex where my dad was working at the time. Throughout my life, a lot of people ask me, because of my experiences, have you ever written a journal or writing some of these things down? And I said, well, I never have. So after my wife passed away, I decided, well, maybe I should sit down and try to put some of my experiences down on paper. It turned into over a 500-page book with illustrations, and I did it mainly just for my children to have something to remember me by. And about 16 people were killed that day in that attack. Including my dad. I think my main thing would be to certainly enjoy life as much as you can. Enjoy the people you're with, your family. I think also surrounding yourself with good friends, people you enjoy, and also be able to at times help people. If you can be lucky enough to work in a profession or career or so on that you really enjoy, I think that's very important. I really have, fortunately, no regrets about what my life has been like. It's been very fulfilling for me.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm afraid I'm not a very dynamic interviewee, like probably Dan Shook was, but